it says. Hola. Good morning. Hey, AJ. Can you hear me, by the way? Good morning. Good morning. Can everyone hear me? All right. Excellent. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Looking forward to to doing this. Let me get a banner up here while we're waiting. Boom. All right, there we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Abby. Thanks for stopping in. But I've been up for 3 hours, been in the garden. Yeah. See, that's why we like to say wake and elevate, because then your whole day is like elevated. Plus, nobody bans you on social media for saying elevate. Good morning, James. Good morning, Charles. Got some exciting news to announce today. If anybody hasn't been paying attention to the website, there's a lot of changes that have gone on in the last 24 hours. And we'll be talking about that here in a minute. You just took a guess on the box. I'm having such a frustrating day with technology today. My laptop is the thing that I was going to try to like show the giveaway wheel and all that good shit. It's just not cooperating with me, and I don't know. So I'm really, really irritated with it. So I haven't been able to check back on Facebook or anything else because technology is not cooperating. All right, well, since I'm not going to go in, because if I go look at what your guesses are, I'm going to be kicked out of the stream. So hit me with your guesses in the chat. I want to see who's going to get it right. Because you never know. Hey, good morning, Kevin. Still working on figuring out exactly the logistics of that, but it is looking very possible. So coming up pretty soon. I see one of you cheated. One of you went onto the website and looked. I'm not going to say who. Guesses on what? Good morning, Dina. Good morning, Sandra. Guesses on what? So we posted into the Highest Ground Test Kitchen group, which was the question: how many? Here's the size box. How many cups do you think is in this box? The answer is on the website, and somebody's looked. But we'll be talking more about that here in a minute, because that's some really, really good news with some of these formulations. So I'm really, really excited about that. Follow direction. Yeah. Yeah. It's the lost art of reading for clues. That's what gets you to the victory. It's the reading in the details. Hey, good morning, Mr. Burns. Good morning, Brenda. Ricky Bobby, also good to see you. Oh my goodness, we got so many comments coming in so fast. 96. Wow, that's an awfully hopeful amount. That would be a much bigger box. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that much. Hey, D, good to see you. Good morning. Adam, good to see you. Crystal, I think I saw you as well. Yep, there you are. Good morning. You said to read, yeah. I know, following directions is hard. Good morning, Jenny. All right. So if we're going to do a giveaway for every 20 people that we have on the stream right now, we're at 34 across all of the ones that we're streaming to. So let's see if we can get that up. At least about 40. We'll do 2 giveaways. Maybe if we can do better than that, we'll do more. And we'll We'll talk about some good stuff. So tag and share and invite and get some folks over that might enjoy the coffee, because we're going to give away coffee today. And we're going to talk about the really big box of coffee, which is going to be exciting. Lori, just why don't you hit me up after this if you're still having trouble, and I'll see what I can do to give you a hand. Good morning, Butter. Good to see you. Box looks bigger to me, 3 high, but nope, it's 2 high. Yeah, it is in fact 2 high. So it's actually 12 inches wide, 4 deep, 4 high. Now, if you don't know, one of these pods measures approximately 2 inches in diameter and approximately 2 inches in height. So 2 layers. Is awesome. Yeah, so this is what we're going to be talking about, and talk about a little bit some of the improvements that we've been able to make overall to the processes and involved in making the coffee, and how that has changed some of our ability, how we price it. So for the better, which is really, really exciting. And it's something we've been working on kind of in the background for the last 2 months. And it's just been a kind of combination of trying to make efficiencies both in process but also in purchasing. So some of those things have allowed us to do some good stuff, which we're going to announce today. So really, really excited about that. Hey, Pam. Good morning. Okay, changing my answer to 38. Lynn, good morning. Good to see you. All right. So let's talk about this box. So some of you have asked for a bigger box, something that's more suitable to a regular coffee drinker wanting to drink every single day. And Smithers, Mr. Burns, I'm sure you're going to have to replace him. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, just not good at math. Just not good at volumetric measurements. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, good morning, Pam. Ooh, good morning, good morning. All right, so anyway, we're going to talk about this box. Now, this box is a 40 count box. And the reason it's a 40 count box and not, say, a 30 count box or a 36 count box is because I have 100 of these boxes and they fit about 40 pretty nicely. So it's a 40 count box. So we've launched the 40 count box today. It's now available on the website. And this is where the cool stuff happens, right? So I've been talking about, we've been able to make, let's see if I can pull this up on my unbelievably slow laptop. So we've been able to make some process improvements like I was talking about, and that's allowed us to kind of reduce some costs a little. So that's really exciting. So we're going to talk about that. Now, specifically, if you go to the website, which I'm trying to do, but technology hates me today. I'll just wait. But anyway, so previously, let's talk about, I don't know if I have one next to me. Yes, I don't have one next to me, but let's talk about Original Jane. All right, we'll talk about Original Jane first. So Original Jane was previously, was our very first formulation, right? Is what got us all started. So previously, the website price for a 12-pack of Original Jane at 30. At 30 was, I think we had it listed at like $60 for a 12-pack before all your coupons and discounts and all that good stuff. So now, if you go to the website, which again, I can't believe how slow this computer is for me. It's maddening, truly. All right, so if we go, we talk about, yeah, so Forrest, we'll talk about Inflammation Jane next, and then Energetic Jane last, because that'll be the biggest heartbreaker, I think. But anyway, so if you went to the website, what you're going to notice now If you go and look at highestgroundcoffee.com/original-Jane, okay, you're going to go and you're going to see that there's 3 options that you can choose. Now that's changed in the last 2 weeks. Previously, it was just 1, right? So now the options on the website are your coffee, and that's going to be either premium regular, dark roast regular, or dark roast decaf, right? So those are your 2 coffee choices. The next thing you have is your potency. So Original Jane we offer now in 2 potencies. That's 10 milligram dosages. So some folks are asking for lower. We're just basically asking for a lower dose because not as much tolerance, I guess, right? So we got that in 10 milligrams, but we also have that in the 30 milligrams, which you all know and love. But what's changed now is there's no more 4-packs. Those are gone. We're now doing a 6-pack. That 6-pack now comes in. So what I'm doing right now is I'm on the website. I'm selecting regular, selecting 30 milligrams, and I'm selecting a 6-pack. So the 30 milligram 6-pack as of like Monday this week would have been $24 and change, I think is what it is, right? So $24 for the 6-pack, or excuse me, for the 4-pack on the Original Jane. Now, like I said, we've been able to make some process improvements. It's been a long time, and we've been building up a little bit of inventory under this so that we could do this. Was hoping to do it sooner, but you know, what can you do, right? So this is what we have today. So the 4-pack went from $24 to 0 because it doesn't exist anymore. Now we have a 6-pack, and that 6-pack for the Original Jane regular coffee, 30 milligrams. Anyone want to guess what the price is? Somebody's going to cheat and look on the website, Forrest. But anyone want to guess what the price is for a 6-pack, 30 milligram Original Jane? Went from $24 for a 4-pack. And now we're going to a 6-pack, and it's $16. Yeah, so it's listed on the website for $18. Now here's the thing you're going to notice. One of the big changes, part of the reason prices were what it was before is because we were trying to normalize also the cost of decaf. Okay, so decaf coffee is tremendously more expensive than regular caffeinated coffee. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you were wrong. That's all right. So that's the good news, right? So we went from a 4-pack at $24 to now a 6-pack at $18. Okay. So that's one of the really good news. Really good news is here, and you're going to see that entirely across the Original Jane line. Decaf is the most pointless ever. Well, here's the thing, Jeff. Right? Some people, we're really big about medicating with cannabis, right? More so than about getting high or anything like that. And when we talk about people who are specifically trying to medicate with cannabis, typically there's a lot of health conditions. So what I've been hearing from folks is like, hey, my cardiologist says I shouldn't have any caffeine, right? Also, I've been talking to people with endometriosis, and one of them, which I've never heard before, but one of them noted that, hey, caffeine actually makes the cramping and those symptoms worse. So now we're offering all blends in either a decaf or a regular, with the exception to the extra strength Original Jane, which is decaf only at the moment. That's just because it's a process thing. So decaf only on the extra strength Original. Everything else is either available in both. So very, very exciting news for that. So like I said, 4-pack went from $24 to $18 on a 6-pack. That's much better. I'll have to do the math here because I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, okay. So we went from, let's say, $6 a pod. That's fully packaged. Good stuff. And now we're looking at exactly half of that, $3 a pod. So we've doubled it. We've been giving you more, and we've dropped the price. So that's been really, really exciting. It's been really hard trying to get that here, and I'm just very happy. So can you make this in a medium roast coffee? So this is something I'm going to talk about here a little bit too. Yes, I could make it. But it's all about demand, right? And I can't afford to have a bunch of inventory that doesn't move. So if you are interested in customizable boxes of coffee, I will take whatever coffee you want. I don't care if it's Death Wish coffee, if it's Pete's coffee, if it's Costco coffee, whatever. I don't care. I'll make you a 40 box with whatever coffee you want, but that's going to be the minimum size to get a custom order. It's going to be 40 count. It's going to be a 40 count box. Now, if you want to change that up for the formulations, I'll go ahead and split that. Let you do 2. Okay, so it's 20/20. But if you want to do your own custom coffee, you want to do your own custom blend, whatever that is, you're going to have to order a 40 count box. Just say Costco coffee. That's all I drink. Hey, I love Costco. There's nothing wrong with Costco. Costco does so many good things that you just can't even go wrong. You know. Anyway, you can't see enough good things. All right, so that's the original Jane. Like I said, so now we have a 6-pack. The 12 count went from, I want to say, $60 to now $40. And now this is the really cool thing. The 40 pack. The 40 pack of these guys. Okay? That's $9. I don't even know what that is. I should have done this math ahead of time. Hey, oh, that's $2.47 a pod. $2.47 a pod. So the whole box of 40 for the original Jane 30 is $99. That's $2.47 a pod right now. That is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right, so that's the original Jane. That's probably the biggest place we've been able to make some efficiencies. The next thing I want to talk to you about is our inflammation Jane. So, couple things with this. First, inflammation Jane started at 100 milligrams, but is now going to be available in 30 or 30, 60, and then also 100 milligrams. Okay, so this is what was previously available. This was what was on the website. And now we have 30 and 60. Good news is, much like original Jane, process improvements for this formulation allows us to bring those prices down. So let's take a look at what we got. Like I said, I probably should have done this ahead of time, but that would not be me. That would be like making sure my laptop was charged more than 15 minutes before this was supposed to start. We wouldn't do that. Yeah, so talking about the 100. So that's the other thing too, is that, you know, everyone has a different response. Everybody's bodies respond differently. Oh, hey Gypsy. And 360, I think I just saw. Yeah, there we go. Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. So that was the thing that I was hearing about some of these higher dose pods. It's like, yeah, this is good, but here's the thing. It's too much, right? It's too much. Whatever, I'm too loosey-goosey, I'm not productive enough, or it's just more than I need for my particular situation. So changing those off the hundreds to now a 30 and also a 60. And now we have those on the website. So previously, the 100 milligram inflammation Jane was on the website in regular, and it was for a 12 pack. All right, so for a 12 pack, it was $96. And the reason it was $96 is because it was priced with this guy. This one is, up until recently, this is the most expensive formulation to produce by far. All right, so anyway, so previously, inflammation Jane, 100 milligrams, 12 pack was $96 on the website. Today, 12 pack is $60 on the website, or, you know, 54 with the sale that's going on. Oh, hey, by the way, there's a sale on the website. So, you know, maybe check that out too. So anyway, so we go from, what was it? All right, so we go from the inflammation Jane. These were previously $8 a unit. These are now $5 a unit on a 12 pack. So again, that's the 100 milligrams. Available also in 30. So on a 12 pack, that's going to be $36. That's pretty good. So if you don't need the high strength every single time, the 30 milligram is going to be $36 for a 12 pack on the website, and is also going to be $45 right now for the 60 milligram on the website. So 30 something, 45, and then 55, going up and up and up. And then, so here's the cool thing. And the thing I want to also too mention about these 40 count boxes. right? They're going to take, it takes a little long to package these up. I don't have, aside from this box, literally right here, I do not have 40 count boxes sitting around ready to ship, okay? So if you order one of these, if you order a 40 count on any of the formulations that have a 40 count, please allow a day or two for that to be processed and shipped out. Hey, hey, Lori. So Lori says, for the record, the inflammation Jane, I drank 4 days in a row. Inflammation went down, and then haven't drinking it for a couple days, and the swelling came right back. So that's really, really awesome. I'm not the swelling, of course, but I'm really glad to hear that the inflammation does go down, right? That's exactly what this is. So for those of you who are on the stream who know, we started Inflammation Jane. This was actually formula number 2. If you check into our group anywhere, and you'll see people talking about formula number 2, this is what became Inflammation Jane. And we created Inflammation Jane specifically for Ray, who may or may not be here this morning. I'm not sure. But Ray, Ray had tried the Energetic Jane and said it had good pain relief and good qualities there, but it didn't really take away a lot of the inflammation, internal pains that he was suffering from his UC. So we created a different formulation. So this Energetic Jane, just for everyone to know, is a combination of CBD full spectrum. So this has a lot of nice minors and little minor cannabinoids that we like to use. So CBD full spectrum here with THCV, and that THCV is what accounts for a lot of that get up and go, that energy, and also, if you're diabetic and you're seeing a lot of blood sugar improvements, it's that THCV. It's really, really cool. But anyway, so CBD full spectrum THCV, it's not really targeted so specifically for inflammation, and that's why we came up with this one. So this formulation is a combination of CBDA, CBGA, CBD full spectrum, and THC. Okay. The CBDA and the CBGA are really important. Both of those are really powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. And, the downside to smoking is that you never get to have these compounds in your body. You don't. You smoke it, they convert to CBD or CBG, right? And they different. Still has anti-inflammatory capabilities as CBD and as CBG. However, CBDA and CBGA have totally different properties as far as inflammation. That's why this formulation is so powerful for inflammation. It's because of the CBDA and the CBGA. And in fact, I hope to be able to create a formulation soon that also includes THCA as part of the mix to see what kind of anti-inflammatory capabilities we can get through that without the intoxicating effects that the THC in this produces. So we're working on those. But anyway, so that's the whole point of the Inflammation Jane, right? And that's one of the coolest things about this coffee. That's what we, this is what I exist to do this for. That's why I spent all this time making this. And that's to be able to, find something that works for you, whether it's in a plant or otherwise, find what works for you and then be able to recreate that consistently. Or even better than that is to say, okay, this is what's happening to me, like we did with Ray inflammation. Let's target those and see what happens. And the results are spectacular. It's really, really awesome. But anyway, so Inflammation Jane, also available in a 40 count box. Like I said, I don't have these sitting around. So if you do order one of these, please allow a few days for them to be produced. But anyway, so 40 count box on the 30 is going to be, so the 30 milligram Inflammation Jane 40 count is going to be $94 right now on the website. The 60 milligram is going to be, let's see, it's going to be $112, looks like, currently on discount. And the 100 milligram is going to be $136. Oh, discount's even bigger. That's why. All right. Otherwise, normally be $152. Oh, so the other thing to note, right? So like I said, all of these formulations are going to be in regular and decaf, but on the website, what you'll notice is decaf's going to be more expensive. On every formulation you pick, it's going to be a few bucks extra to cover the expense of the extra decaf. And doing that has also allowed us to bring down the prices of everything else. So pay more for decaf if that's what you need. Most people 10-to-1 order regular. So trying to optimize for those folks. So it's good for inflamed joints. Yeah, Steve, I would say it's really good for inflamed joints, but you know what? Don't listen to me. I'm the guy who makes it. I'm unfortunately the guy who's having to sell it. Hey, so you know, it could be horseshit for me. Don't believe me. Just see what people in the chat had to say about their joints, because I know a few people in here have tried it, and it can probably give you a better, you know, user testament than I could. But yeah, absolutely, inflammation is you know, the key for the inflammation, Jane. So sorry, I'm just trying to get through some of these comments too. Have you picked testers yet for trying the coffee with someone who's never tried medicinal cannabis? No, we have not done anything specifically for that. Well, we did a little thing where we were sending out for people to try with their parents. Not doing that at current, but we may pick that up again. Now, as far as testers go, let's talk about testers. So that's actually what's in this box right now. So testers are going to be, this batch of testers starts at number 9 and goes through, if all goes well, I still have to finish the last number 12, but we'll go through number 12. So number 9 through number 12, that's what these testers are. So previously in the past, depending on shipping weights and stuff like that, we'd probably just throw a 4 count of testers into your bag if we could, right? That's not going to happen anymore. And here's the reason why. So in being more diligent about pricing out every one of our formulations so that we can get them to their best possible prices to you, it becomes clear that some of these formulations are tremendously expensive to produce. So formulation 11 is the most based off of formulation number 6. Now, formulation number 6 was really, really popular with the testers, and probably for good reason. Formulation number 6 costs about $5.60 or something like that to produce per pod. And we're sending 2 or 3 of those with every order. So that's not happening anymore. It's just honestly too expensive. And the other part of this too is, you know, part of the goal of doing the testers is that we need feedback, right? I need to know, does this mix work one way or the other? And I'm currently working to make that better. So part of this process, I'm working on having a form. So it'll be kind of like a user experience form. Now, if you've ever been to like a chronic pain kind of place, it'll be probably very similar to that, right? So, you know, I have pain in my shoulder, I have pain in my knee. The pain in my knee is worse when I, you know, stand or whatever, right? So kind of an experience, like a before report. And then have one of these and then note it down. So let's talk about formula number 11, because this one is actually really good. It's also really expensive to produce. That's the thing. So testers will not be going out for free anymore, unless for whatever reason I just choose to do so. But as a general rule, they won't be included in packages anymore. Testers will be sold in a 6-pack. In fact, there will be no more 4-packs. Once the packages are gone, there's no more 4-packs. So I lost my train of thought, but that's okay, because I'm gonna get to these comments. Do you have anything to help with nausea and pain? I have a bad pancreas. So Amanda, so anecdotally, here's what I can tell you, is that the inflammation Jane, which contains some THC, has been, I've had a few reports of people telling me it's really good for nausea, like it helps their nausea right away. And again, if anybody's in chat right now who's tried it, who's experienced nausea, has something to maybe add to help Amanda, please go ahead and pop that in there. But what I would say for nausea and general pain, again, I don't have an Original Jane pod in front of me, but Original Jane is a great one to start with. Okay, so Original is mostly THC with a little bit of CBD added to it. But for a lot of people, that's all they need to feel their muscles relaxed, to feel some pain relief, also to feel the nausea. That may or may not be enough, right? So one of the things that I do recommend right now is, you know, if you have something, internal pain, man, internal pain is a big thing, right? It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to work with. It's a hard thing to understand, because there's so many sources of pain and where they can come from, right? So what I like to say is, if you're experiencing pain and smoking has in the past maybe done something for you, Coffee's likely a good chance to go ahead and move past that, right? There's a good chance that if smoking form has provided some relief for your inflammation, for your pain, or something like that, there's a really good chance that the coffee form will do even better for you. And the reason for that is pretty simple, right? When you smoke or when you consume in that form, the majority of the cannabinoids, because our brains are full of CB2 or CB1 receptors and lesser CB2 receptors, but our brains are full of them, right? So when you smoke, goes through your lungs, goes through your heart, goes up to your brain, and then your brain's got like this giant net of receptors that sweep up all that THC, and that's what makes you feel really high. But the downside to that is, so those CB1 receptors are in your brain, and that can affect your mood, your concentration, your cognitive abilities, all that kind of good stuff. But I mean, if you want to get high, that's what you want. But if you want to actually take away the pain from your body, you want that THC to end up at the receptors that are in your muscles near the issues of, where you have the inflammation. And that's the cool thing about the coffee form. So when you take it in the coffee form, it kind of basically follows your digestive path, right? So it's depositing cannabinoids all along your body into the soft tissues and into areas where typically you may not have a lot of receptor activation, right? So this is why like topicals are so effective too. All right. So if you take I have a lot of wrist pain. So I have a topical and I'll put it on there, and within 30 minutes, a lot of that pain will be gone. Of course, that pain is also back in about an hour. But that's the reason why topicals work so well, is because it's putting those compounds into the parts of the body that has the inflammation, and then it hits the receptors nearby, and those receptors say, hey, all right, we need to reduce the inflammation, or we're going to block pain, or we're going to do whatever we can. So anyway, so pain is a really big thing, and depending on how that pain manifests in the body, or the source of that pain, is going to depend on what you need to address that. So what I recommend is a variety pack. So actually, let's talk about the variety pack. So variety pack is probably our number one SKU, and it should be, right? Because if you're just coming to coffee and you're looking to medicate and you're looking to get real meaningful relief, the variety pack is a really good place to start, because it contains our 3 best formulations right now for targeting different, if you want to call them ailments, but whatever, right? So the variety pack contains Original Jane, the Extra Strength Original Jane, Energetic Jane, and Inflammation Jane. So it's a really good pack to start, because then you'll be able to see, right? I'll take start with an Original Jane and see how that does for you. Maybe that hits your pain, maybe it doesn't, right? Because sources of pain are varied, and what's going to affect it is going to be different. So start with the original and then move to the Extra Strength. If that doesn't work for you, start with the inflammation, right? Start with I think we send a 30 and 100 down the variety pack. Yeah. So start with the Inflammation Jane, and then see if that hits your pain, right? And it may be that, okay, a little bit of the inflammation really helped and a little bit of this helped. But neither of these were a complete solution for me. You know what I mean? And that's the really cool thing about the coffee. So if you do find something that's like, hey, this kind of works for me, but it's not exactly perfect, I want to tweak it. Well, that's what we can do with the coffee. We can formulate and tweak. So if we say, okay, we want some of the inflammation properties of Inflammation Jane, but we want the energetic properties of the Energetic Jane. How do we do that? Well, that's actually what formula, and I don't have a pot in front of me, but it's one of the formulas, I think it's number 10. That's in the new testers, right? So one of the new testers is a combination of Energetic Jane and Inflammation Jane, to see if we could combine the benefits of both into one drink. Because I know for me, if I start the day with an Inflammation Jane, I tend to get really relaxed, like really, really obnoxiously relaxed. So I got to start with Energetic Jane, or I have a hard time getting anything done. So how do we, so looking at that, let's play with it. And that's the whole idea behind these formulations. So our new tester batches are, I'm all over the place. Let's talk about the variety pack. So the variety pack was previously $40. That's done. Variety 6-pack is now $28 regularly. It's on the website right now for $26. So that's 6 pods, $26. That's one of all of the 3 formulations that are best basically starting points to kind of guide your journey past that point. And a lot of people find relief in one of these 3 formulations, and that's why it's part of the variety pack. I love to make custom formulations, but at the end of the day, that's also really time consuming. I want to be able to get something that gets to you as effectively as possible as right away. So that's kind of the goal behind the variety pack, to try to find something along our standard base of formulations and see what works, right? So if you get a lot of response from Inflammation Jane versus, say, the Extra Strength Original Jane, then that tells us that you probably have more inflammation related pain. And then the way that we treat that is going to be different than if you were to say, well, hey, the Original Jane really helped with my pain, right? Because that might be a completely different set of pains. All right, so variety pack, Inflammation Jane. All right, so let's get to Energetic Jane. So Energetic Jane is of course my favorite coffee. So I have ADHD, and if I don't take my normal, prescribed meds, which I haven't in quite a while, but for me, I have a really hard time with executive dysfunction and anxiety on top of that. So Energetic Jane is really helpful for me on days where I'm having a really hard time getting started, because I can take a cup of Energetic Jane, wait about 30 minutes, and previously I'll just be sitting in my chair, and now I'm up and pacing, right? That's the difference for me in Energetic Jane. It's not, the meds that I took for my ADHD that I was prescribed, these Schedule I controlled drugs, that was really effective in so far as I would have energy and motivation to sit down and focus. But then again, at the end of it, I'd be really flat. I'd have no emotion, no emotional response. I just feel like a flat human being. And that's not how I want to live, right? So for me, Energetic Jane has been really, really helpful, because even though it's not to that same level of some of the other medications, it is still tremendously helpful in me being able to function and get stuff done on a day-to-day basis. So Energetic Jane, I love it, but it's also the most expensive one we make. So that's now reflected on the website. So if you go to our website and you check out Energetic Jane and 30 milligram, let's see, regular. All right, so previously, I think the 4-pack of Energetic Jane was also $24. So that's now changed. It's now $26 for a 6-pack, which is on sale right now, I guess, for $24, give or take. So 6-pack, 30 milligram Energetic Jane is now only $23, which is pretty good. The 12-pack, so the 12-pack we were able to bring that down too. So the 12-pack previously was also $60, and originally it was that $60 price point was because of this formulation. So we have been able to make some improvements to it. And now a 30 milligram 12-pack will come down to $48 regularly, or currently on sale on the website for about $43, which is really, really cool. 100 milligram 12-pack used to be $96. Right now it's $88. On sale, dropped down to $79. Okay, so it's a little bit of a price drop, but we couldn't drop it as much as some of the other ones, because cannabinoids that are in here they're so expensive. They're so expensive. So you'll see that here reflected into the price. And Energetic Jane is also available in a 40 count box should you really, really want to. And that is $220 on the website. So that's on the 100 milligram, by the way, and the 30 milligram is $120, marked down to $108 right now. So depending on what you need, right, those may be good options, because right now that's your cheapest way to get coffee. All right, let me check on these things again. Comments real quick. Does a K-Cup make a cup or a pot of coffee? So the Keurig ones, I think they have ones where they'll take like a custom, slightly larger insert that you put in it, and you can brew a pot. But here's what I'll tell you: if you're thinking about a K-Cup maker for one of these, just get the cheapest one you can find. Go to Goodwill. You'll find one for like $8, probably, maybe less. I don't know, and that'll work just as well as any other K-Cup maker that's out there. So. And then this is what I'd recommend too. So this is what I've heard from some folks who are sensitive to cannabinoids, who find these too much jitteriness, like too much stimulation essentially from some of these. And what I'd recommend then is brew a cup in your K-Cup maker, and then just dilute it into a pot of coffee, or however you want to do that. That's what I would recommend for that. Good morning, everyone. All right, so we've been blathering on long enough, and we're close enough to 40 that I think it counts. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to figure out how to make this work. Hopefully on the other piece of technology that has thus far not cooperated with me this morning. Oh yeah, so as we do this, by the way, giveaway. So if you have not already, go to thg.coffee/giveaway. Enter your information, and basically this helps me understand like what's going on for you. And as we do things in the future, so currently we're looking at two to three like user-based studies, okay? One is going to be for diabetes, and you've seen me post about that a little bit, but we're going to do a bit more on that. We're doing it specifically to see how energetic Jane formulations and formulations containing THCV may help or impact your blood sugars. The other one we're doing is for endometriosis. I'll be announcing more on this. I've been doing a little bit of information gathering, but I'll be reaching out to some more people here soon, especially those that have mentioned it in the past. But we'll be doing one on endometriosis. So we'll be utilizing our tester formulations to see if we can, target endometriosis pain. And it's going to be like everything else, right? Pain can be totally subjective, and the source of what can be from one thing or another. And then there was another one which escapes my mind at the moment, but we're going to be doing a couple of them. So fill out the form, put whatever information you feel comfortable sharing. And then in the future, we'll do giveaways based on those. But at the same time, if you say, okay, hey, I'm suffering from endometriosis and type 2 diabetes or something like that, right? Then as we do studies and as we look for those, we'll be able to reach out to you more effectively and be able to see if you want to participate in that kind of stuff. All right, so let's do it. All right, so we got 40 people. We're going to say 40. And that means we're going to do two variety boxes of giveaways. So actually, it's not going to be a variety box. It doesn't have to be a variety box. It can be a variety box if you want. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to get you 2 $40 gift cards for the website. All right, that used to cover what the cost of the variety box was. Now you could get a 6-pack and a variety box for basically $40 plus shipping. So we're going to do 2 of those, and we're going to get started. So we're going to do the hashtag. We'll start with highest ground coffee. Okay. All right, so comment. Put your hashtag in there, highest ground coffee, if you'd like to be part of this giveaway. Make sure you have filled out the form on thg.coffee/giveaway, because if you haven't, it's going to go to the next person who has. All right, so get those hashtags into, let me make sure I have this running correctly. Highest ground coffee. Start collecting, I think. Hey-o, all right, there we go. So hashtag highest ground coffee is now up. We're now getting the entries. Those are coming through. Excellent, excellent. And again, so this is going to be for a, used to be a coupon code for the variety box, but now it's just a $40 coupon code. So you can use that however the hell you'd like to. Get 2 variety boxes almost, if you'd really prefer. So hit those entries, hashtag highest ground coffee. We're going to do this twice. So we're going to do two winners. If you win in one, you can't win in the other. So, that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to give this, let's say, another minute. We're at 26 entries now. We're at 38 viewers. So let's go ahead and do another minute, and then we'll see about doing our drawing. So hashtag highest ground coffee. Again, make sure you've gone to the website. After, do the hashtag highest ground coffee first, and then go to the website. Fill out the form at thg.coffee/giveaway. And if you haven't done it, now's your time. you will, if the first winner does not have an entry in the website, then you will have until the end of the second drawing to get your entry in there. Did I put that in the comments or someplace? Yeah, I just put that into, well, so here's the thing. Because you're showing up as Facebook user, I don't know who you are. And I don't think it'll let you enter the giveaway because it doesn't know who you are, Facebook user. So I think to fix that, you got to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Yeah. Well, I know who you are, Phil, but the software won't know you because it can't see you. So you got to go to that StreamYard.com/Facebook. Make sure it shows you. But don't worry, we're going to have another entry. So you got a minute or two to get that done. We've got 33 entries, and in 15 seconds, we're going to draw this guy. So hashtag highest ground coffee. Make sure you've gone to tht.coffee/giveaway. You only need to do that once, by the way. Once you do that one time, you're in forever. So that's cool. Hey, Cosmo, you're just in time. Hashtag highest ground coffee. What was the website? tht.coffee/giveaway. Let me put that back up somewhere over here. All right. All right. So we're at 36 entries. Going to go ahead and hit the thing. So I do apologize. This is happening on the other laptop, so I can't like share it. But we'll experience it together, and you can listen to me butcher the name. So apologies in advance for that. All right, here we go. Hey, Jeff Schaefer. You still here, Jeff? Jeff Schaefer is our very first winner. Excellent. 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 Jeff, are you still here, my man? Woo! All right. All right, Jeff, have you gone and filled out the form? I'm not going to look. I'm just going to take you on your word because I know you're a man of your word. Don't lie to me, Jeff. All right. Good, 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 good. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and do another giveaway because we got 40 people. So we're going to do 2. So Jeff Schaefer is our #1 winner, first winner. And now we're going to do hashtag THG. That's THG. That's the highest ground, obviously. So hashtag, all right, let me put this up here. Let me get it started before I put it up here. And then THG. Bam. Boom. All right, so there it is. So to get in on this entry, hashtag THG. Everybody but Jeff can enter. Oh, and don't forget, tht.coffee/giveaway. Very important. All right, so we'll let that run. We're at 22. We're at 43 viewers. So I'll give that another minute, get everybody to get their entries back in. And maybe I'll do a tester giveaway. Maybe we'll do that. Much appreciated, Jeff. Much appreciated. Everyone else appreciates you. All right. And now we're at we're at 33, 45. Good enough for me. Let's do it. So we're hitting the draw button. We're drawing live. Crystal Speed Avery. Congratulations, Crystal Speed Avery. If you are still here, you are a winner. Crystal, are you still in the chat? I see you like 1 minute ago, so I'm guessing probably. All right. Now, Crystal, have you already filled out the giveaway form? I'll take your word for it. All right, so now I'm feeling real awfully generous. So we're gonna do one more. I was gonna say this could be just for the testers, but it's gonna be the same thing. It's another one for the website. But we're gonna do hashtag testers. Hashtag testers. So let me get that banner up there. Hashtag testers. There it is. All right, so this is going to be the very last one. Hashtag testers. Get your formulas 9 through whatever it ends up actually being. Testers. Welcome back, Dan. So don't forget, hashtag testers. I see Ray Lane, you're on THD. That one's gone. Hashtag testers. This will be the last drawing, and I'll go ahead and let it go for another 2 minutes. Just give everybody an opportunity who's here to add to it. That's hashtag testers. So let me tell you again about these testers. I've only got 2 in front of me, so you can see numbers 9 and 11. Well, anyway, can't hold things on camera apparently. So number 11 is really, well, I shouldn't say it's my favorite. I've only tested 2 out of the full 6. But it is thus far my favorite. Let me tell you why. So a couple times tested this when pain was pretty bad. That normally is hard to resolve otherwise. And this did a really good job of making the pain not present. It didn't take the pain away, but it made the pain not present. And so what does that mean for me? That means, so I got in my knee, a lot of time there's a lot of pain in my knees, also in my wrist, and my back. So what it means for me is that it took the pain away. It dulled the pain, or to the point where it's just not in my mind anymore. And a lot of times when I get up, I've got something in my back where when I get up, it causes shooting pains throughout my body. And it just makes me hate getting up, right? Like I literally fear the act of standing up because I know it's going to hurt. And the cool thing for me is that stopped with this. Now, I don't know if that's going to be 100% consistent with this, but that's what we're trying out, right? So this is what we're going to be testing out. So number 11 for me was really good. Now, the other thing to note about this one too. So number 11 has like 5 cannabinoids added to it. But the cannabinoids are also added to kind of, you want to say maybe like a delayed release, but not necessarily in that sense. But the idea is that different cannabinoids will start to interact with your endocannabinoid system at different times. And so it may be like 2 hours before one of those cannabinoids kicks in. And that's specifically formulated for that, right? So the idea is that this has a couple cannabinoids that are very fast acting. So you'll notice them. They provide relief really quickly. But then they'll also have cannabinoids that start to have interactions and whatnot after a couple hours. So the idea with that is to try to provide a longer baseline of relief with less dosing. All right, so we are at 36 entries, and I think that's probably where it's going to be. Brad, I don't know if it worked. Make sure you did hashtag testers with an S. I have heard of Addison's disease, yes. I'm not terribly familiar with it, so I can't speak on it in any capacity, but if that's something that's affecting you, I'd love to take a look at it, right? Because that's one of the cool things about this. Hey, there it is, Brad. That did work. And also for Andrea, good job. All right, hashtag testers. If you haven't already, hashtag testers with an S. Make sure you have that S. And we're at 40 out of 47 people on here. So I'll give you another 15 seconds and then we're going to do our drawing. Now, before I do that, let's just make sure, has everybody gone to thd.coffee/giveaway, entered the form? Hard for me to send you the coupon if you didn't. Yeah, so, yeah, Jennifer. So that's the, I don't want to be like crazy hype it. I don't want to hype it up. You know what I mean? Because the reality is like everybody's different. The way people respond is completely different too. Oh, sorry. Does it help with sorry, Patrick, I didn't see that. So couldn't tell you about this one. I can tell you specifically, I have heard through feedback in our test group, Highest Ground Test Kitchen, that the original Jane has been very successful in migraines. Don't know why, but the original Jane has been very successful in migraines. So if you have migraines, that is where I would start. Like I said before, maybe start with the variety pack, which will have an original Jane 30 milligram, but also the extra strength original Jane. Start with one of those and see how that does, and let me know. So again, like everybody, I know we're all out there suffering. You know, there's so many things. I do believe that this can help. Not this formulation, sorry, the coffee and the ability to strategically apply cannabinoids can help. But here's the thing, right? It's not a one size fits all solution. And just as if you were going through your doctor and working through different medications to find out which one is going to be effective for you and your situation, we have to do the same thing with cannabinoids, because at the end of the day, you know, this isn't magic. These are simply compounds that mimic compounds that exist in the body, right? When your body says, hey, I've got inflammation, I need to kill some of it, it creates a compound that's very similar. It's called an endocannabinoid. But it creates a compound that's very similar to the cannabinoids that we see in plants, right? So we have to find which set of cannabinoids that we have available to us to find out, you know, to test those to see which ones are going to work for you the most. How does it do for fibromyalgia? Well, here, let me do this. Let me go ahead and announce this, because I know we got people who want to get back to work, because for whatever reason, I do these things in the mornings. So I'm going to do a drawing, and then we'll talk a little bit about that, Pam. So give me just a moment. All right, so hitting the drawing, we're seeing now. I feel like there should be more of a dramatic drum roll, but there isn't. Jenny Trailer. Jenny Trailer, are you still with us, Jenny? If so, you are our winner, Jenny Trailer. So we'll give her a second. So edibles, it's all right. We'll give Jenny another second here to show up. Oh, there she is. All right, awesome, excellent. Yay, Jenny. All right, so Jenny, you filled out the giveaway form, I'm assuming. All right. Cool. All right, so if you are a winner today, hit me up in the messages and I'll get you your code. That way I do not forget. I've scatterbrained everywhere today. Message me and I will get you your winnings. If you don't message me, it might take a hot minute before I remember. So message me and I'll get that to you right away. Otherwise, I'll try to get that to you by the end of the today. But that's it for the giveaways. If you're hanging out for that, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Please consider giving our Facebook group, the Highest Ground Coffee Company, a like if you don't follow that already. But also give a follow to our Facebook group, Highest Ground Test Kitchen, where we talk mostly about these tester formulations. You know, so Pam, we're going to talk a little bit about fibromyalgia and you know, see what we can do about that. So please give our group a join. Go to the website, highestgroundcoffee.com. We are currently running a sale. Every item is 10% off, but for some stupid reason, you can use your favorite coupon code with it. So time to save, because that won't last forever. So get those orders in, and thank you everybody for joining us. Awesome. All right. Awesome, Crystal Avery. Thank you. So congratulations. We got Jenny Trailer on this last one, and the other ones are going to have to message me because I can't remember. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everybody, for joining. So let's talk about, Pam, if you're still here, let's talk about fibromyalgia. You know, it's a good day to order, Ray. I don't know if you caught the full stream, but we now have a whole bunch of new SKUs and way better pricing on things like original and inflammation Janes. Also a 40 count box if you're into that kind of thing. Mad scientist. Thank you, Rob. I greatly appreciate you. It's very kind of you to say. Hey, Paul, thanks for sticking around. All right, Pam. So yeah, let's talk about fibromyalgia. Thank you, Jennifer. You're welcome to stick around. We're going to talk about this for a little bit on the spiel here. And, you know, the first thing I want to say, Pam, is, you know, I want to set expectations, right? Let's set expectations properly. which is to say that I can't guarantee anything, nothing at all. All that I can do are take cannabinoids, which we kind of talked about, which mimic natural compounds the body produces in response to various signalings, right? When you think about it, at the end of the day, when you smoke cannabis, you're basically biohacking your body. You're smoking this saying, body, I want you to do this. I want you to do this one thing. Like, it's really cool. If we could do that without smoking cannabis, that'd be even better, but we can't. So we rely on cannabinoids, right? No worries. No worries, Ray. I'm glad to have you here anyway. Anyway, so pain is really tricky, right? Pain is always going to be really oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Britt. The giveaway is done. I'm gonna get that banner off of here. Let's see. Let me get a new banner here. All right. So anyway, sorry, gotta do the marketing stuff. Anyway, so when we talk about pain, pain's a really big subject, and the causes and sources of pain, they're so varied and just hard to tackle down, right? So that's why I do say start with the variety box, because if you start with the variety box, and this is something that I'm trying to be better about, trying to provide the resources, because if you start with the variety box, and if you're diligent about taking notes when you're trying each of the formulations, you'll be able to understand like when something's working for you and working well for you. Can you move the captions blocking? Here. How's this? Is that better? I don't think I can actually move the banner. I mean, it's probably possible, but beyond my level of sophistication at this moment in time. So when I smoke, it helps quite a bit, but I can't always smoke because of things. So this is good news, right? So this is helpful, because what this tells us is that cannabinoids do target parts of the problem, whether that may be inflammation or maybe just be pain receptor blocking, right? But it's a helpful indication to know that something about cannabinoids is helpful to that situation. Then we can take that, looking at, again, the variety box. So if you start with that, start with the original chain. See how that does for you. Then go on and do the extra strength original chain and see if that also does it for you. And what I do recommend is wait like 24 hours, take one coffee in the morning, wait 30 minutes. Don't smoke, don't consume, don't do anything else that you might normally do. Just let the coffee have 30 minutes, see how it hits you, and then do your normal routine after that if you so choose. But start with those, because if you start looking at which ones, and you say, okay, well, you know what? Inflammation Jane really helped more than the original Jane. So what does that tell us? It tells us that maybe a lot of your pain is more inflammation based, and that's the way that we want to target it. And it may be, like I said before, right? You may try one or two and you get partial relief. But if you can note that, we can work with that, and I can work with you to develop formulations around that. So, for example, this is where like 11 is really interesting to me, and I hope people go out and buy testers to try these so that we can get better feedback, because I've only got 2 points of testing data on this, but so far number 11 has really profound effect for pain that is different than any of the other formulations that I've tried, right? And that may be that is part of the component that leads you to a complete level of care. And I apologize, I'm just going to go through these comments as best as I can. So I'm trying to find something to help with my husband and his sciatica. Everyone was talking about Inflammation Jane. So Inflammation Jane is likely a really, really good one for that. I can tell you, like I said, I have back pain and I have shooting pains down my sides, probably called sciatica. And I can tell you that Original Jane for me helps a lot, probably because of like maybe just muscle looseness. I don't know. But I can tell you that it does help for me. But that is not the same as the help that I got from number 11. So the best way that I can characterize that is like Original Jane is kind of like a dulling. But when I stand up, I still get that sharp shooting pain in my back, no matter how much I smoke, no matter whatever else. That was different for number 11, which basically took the pain away. Like I could know that it was there, but it wasn't bothering me. Like it didn't affect my ability to move. Normally when I get up, I have like an internalized programmed fear from the pain that's going to come from that, right? So I'm always thinking about it when I stand up. So that was gone for me, and that's why, you know, I want to stress more than anything else. Like this is the thing that's made the biggest difference for me. Like I started the coffee, did THC, because yeah, everybody wants THC, right? Everybody loves their edibles, but the reality is the technology that delivers these cannabinoids can do so much more for your body than smoking can do for your mind. And that was like mind-blowing for me when you know, Ray mentioned his UC pain just disappearing. People bringing up things I've never heard of before, mentioning how it helps with it, gastroparesis, endometriosis, you know, anxiety and PTSD, like some of that stuff. And that's been the thing, you know, that to me is like the best thing. That is honestly the best thing about this. It's the best thing about being able to do this. And that's why I want to stress, like, there's no one size fits all, right? If you've ever smoked cannabis strain to strain and you were like, hey, this strain was really awesome, I wish I could have that every time, and this strain sucked, it didn't do anything for me, right? It's because our bodies are all different, and of course the plants also are very inconsistent. But our bodies respond because we have in our endocannabinoid systems, our bodies respond differently, and they're primed differently too, right? You have different illnesses, your body is ready to respond to those illnesses differently because it's in a conditioned state of being in that form of illness, right? So these can be customized. We can customize these to the ends of the earth. I have like 20 cannabinoids that I can mix and match with, which has been the whole great thing about this. But you know, that takes time and effort and looking through all that stuff. So what I would like to say is start with the variety pack. And if you find something that starts to kind of maybe paint a picture of relief for you from that pack, we can then take that picture and expand upon it and probably find something that's even more targeted. Oh, and you know, actually somebody was mentioning migraine relief or migraines. I don't know if Patrick, if you're still here, I was talking to somebody on the forums yesterday or the day before, and they mentioned they had chronic migraines. So here's the thing too about that, which brings back to number 11. On their report, they said that they took, because they had the old batch tester formulations, they had a 5 and a 6, I think. So they had tried number 6. And I think that was the one that they said actually provided a lot of pain relief, because she mentioned she has TMJ, which is a disease of the jaw, degenerative, and that causes the migraines. So she had mentioned that number 6 really helped with that. Now, unfortunately, formulation number 6 is really expensive to produce. It was actually the most expensive cup to produce. So formulation 11 is an attempt to see if we can get some of those same benefits out of that we had saw in formulation number 6, but at a lower cost point, hopefully. Like literally, we're talking like almost $6 to produce one of those cups of number 6. It was kind of nuts. But anyway, so Formula 11 is a lot better price-wise. So if it can be effective, this may be another good alternative for that. But that may be, you know, one of those things too, is like Original Jane helps with some migraines, but maybe it doesn't help with the bigger, more devastating ones, right? And if that's the case, then maybe we have to look at stronger or alternative cannabinoids and what do they do? And that's kind of like where this is at, right? So I'm hoping that she'll try these to see how it does help with her migraine. So maybe we'll have another data point there, because I know the inflammation Jane took away the swelling in her face. That's what she said, but it did not address the migraine pain. And you know, so that's what it's all about, right? Formulation 6 addresses the migraine pain, inflammation Jane addresses the inflammation. Then maybe we combine the two of them, and that's how we try to like individualize your relief. And that's the cool thing about this. Excuse me. Hey Terry, Hey, good to see you. Hey, Regina, also good to see you. Which ones do you need the most feedback on? As far as the testers go, it's really all of them. So this batch of testers is based around Inflammation Jane, as well as Formulation 6, and I think Formulation 1, with a little bit of Energetic Jane. So one of these pods is basically Energetic Jane and Inflammation Jane. That's a winner. But it may actually be dosed too high, at least for me. I had one yesterday, and yeah, it was a lot. But anyway, but the rest of them are based off of Inflammation Jane and like some variations, including Formulation 6. So really, we need feedback on all of them, because what this helps us to do is, if you have some kind of chronic condition, and this is where it's the most helpful, right? Don't take testers if you just want to get high. They're not good for that. The coffee's not good for that at all. Like, the best thing about the coffee and getting high is that the coffee will make getting high easier, but it won't get you there necessarily on its own. You know what I mean? You may smoke less because it potentiates that experience. You've got, your body's already like preloaded with cannabinoids, and then you smoke, and then, hey, yeah, all of them are up here. But anyway, coffee's not about getting high. It's not going to be a satisfying edible experience if you're used to like the edible high, because it doesn't do that. The technology specifically avoids all of that. And that's the cool thing about it, right? You don't digest these. These are made water soluble. They're made so small that they just absorb into your body. They don't have to go through first and second pass metabolism. We don't have to do weird tricks to try to get your body to avoid basically destroying the compound before it ever gets there. That's what happens with edibles. When you take an edible, like a edible brownie or whatever, with just THC that's been infused in there, first and second pass metabolism already is trying to prevent those cannabinoids from ever getting through. And then it gets to your liver. And then what does make it past the liver's processes, if you have the enzymes, CYP450, then that delta 9 THC converts to 11 hydroxy THC, which is really very psychoactive. And that's what accounts for like that really intense psychoactive high. But that doesn't happen with the coffee. And that doesn't happen because the coffee basically mimics how smoking works. So if you look into the research about how smoking works in the body, right? Because again, we're made of water. Cannabis is an oil. They don't mix. They don't like to mix. The reason smoking works is because when you smoke, you vaporize the particles. They become less. Research says between, on average, 100 and 400 nanometers in size, basically. And when they're that small, and you combine that to the large surface area of your lungs, which is, mucus and water and stuff, that large surface area allows those compounds, because they're really small, to be minutely water soluble, so they can absorb into the water, and then they can exchange into the lungs and go into your body that way. So that's why smoking works. So the coffee takes the similar approach, and this is why the K-Cup, this is why a K-Cup maker is really necessary. So the K-Cup maker is, it's an essential piece of your medicating experience. It's just like your favorite pipe or your favorite piece, whatever it is, right? This is accomplishing something for you. It's not, if I could do it without the K-Cup maker and in a reasonable way, I would, but the K-Cup maker is actually really necessary to ensure that this is consistent every single time. And that, for me, was the main thing. Because I knew if I could find what worked for me, I wanted that to work every single time. Every single time. And you can't do that with plants. Plants, strain to strain, are varied, right? And how they produce their cannabinoids. You just can't do that. So consistency was really key. And that's part of what the K-Cup maker does, is it really helps to ensure that what's brewed and into the cup is consistent at every single time. And that's, because the way that I treat this like medicine. I treat this like my prescriptions in a sense, right? Because I know this is doing something for my body, like beneficial, and I have to treat it that way. And I want it to be consistent. I can't have, you can't have like one day you take one, you're like, yeah, it's great. And then the next day you take one, like, whoa, this one's a little different. That wasn't the work one, Can't have that. So that's what the K-Cup maker, the K-Cup system, all that allows us to do, is to be precisely dosed, to be consistent in how it brews cup to cup. And then, treat it like any other medicine. When it stops working, you take more, because that's how it is, you know. All right, cool. Let me get back to comments because I've been really bad about it. So I think I saw somebody ask, Stephanie asked, so does 11 make you sleepy? And I'll tell you, so this one has, well, does it make you sleepy? And I think that's a really subjective thing. I got yawns, so I tried to take an experience report, and I want to say 2 hours into it, I started yawning, but I didn't go to bed. You know what I mean? However, when I did go to bed, I slept all through the night, which is also different for me. And like, so how that differs for me is like, I have cats, animals, people make noise, shit like that, right? So sometime past 2 o'clock in the morning, my body is primed to be awake. I think because, my body's internal clock is somewhere aligned to a time zone in the Atlantic Ocean or something. I don't know. But, so around 2 o'clock or whatever, noises and disturbances will wake me up, and that'll keep me awake, and that'll be hard to go back to sleep. So when I had number 11, the difference was I would wake up, I would roll over, pull my blanket back on, and I'd go back to sleep. So that's the difference for me. Does it make me go to sleep? No. Does it help me stay asleep and go back to sleep? It does seem that it does. And that's, my personal experience. So it's really hard. So, sleep is also one of those challenging things because there's so many things that interrupt sleep. And there's so many parts to like sleep that, sleep is going to be one of the ones that we're working on as well. So I do think there are sleep qualities to this current batch of testers that are worth looking at. I do think this one, especially number 11, I think is probably going to be a really good one for sleep and pain in general. But, at this moment in time, I don't want to say I have a solution to sleep. I think we have ways that we can help keep you asleep, especially if you struggle with that. There are different cannabinoids that we can look at that, much like this one, they interact within the body at different times. So for example, I saw, and I apologize, I don't know if old Scratch is here or not, but I wasn't able to get on last night. But this morning I read some comments and somebody was talking about THCO. So what is THCO? So THCO is acetylated THC. What does acetylated mean? So if you think of aspirin, aspirin is acetylated, and it's acetylated because our livers break down aspirin. So in order for that aspirin to get past the liver and provide benefit to the body, they attach an acetate to it, and that acetate basically travels through the liver unmessed with until it gets into the body, where another enzyme then cleaves off the acetate, and then you have the non-acetate form. So for example, THCO is basically that with THC. And the cool thing about that means, if we're talking about delayed release or some kind of delayed benefit, THCO, first of all, if you look at this, ignore the marketing speak, you're going to see things like, oh, it's 30 times more potent than this or that, or like some other nonsense. Just ignore that, okay? The other thing, so THCO is really good because once you consume it, especially in like the coffee form, it doesn't hit right away. So it's good or bad, right? I guess depending on how you look at it. But it's not an immediate effect. You won't get immediately like a notice it in your brain or anything. It's going to take 30, 40 minutes for that to happen. The reason for that is THCO, the acetate with the THC with the acetate, it's floating around your body and it's waiting for that acetate to be cleaved off. Because right now with the acetate on it, it doesn't do the same thing. In fact, we don't know that it does anything in terms of receptor binding or otherwise. We don't know, okay? At least not yet. I have to, there may be new research that I haven't seen, so please bear that in mind. I don't know. Let's put it that way. But anyway, that acetate molecule gets cleaved off after like 40 minutes, and then you have THC floating through your body. And that's really good for your body and also for getting you high. So that's what THCO is. So there's also other cannabinoids, things like you may be hearing ones called THCP. Okay. And the main difference between a lot of these cannabinoids is their structure is very similar, generally speaking. But depending on the ones we're talking about, it's going to be the carbon tail at the end. So THC has five lengths of carbon tail. Then there's THCH, which has 6. That's in here. And then there's THCP, which I believe is 7. Okay. And this is where like marketing speak is total bullshit. Okay. You're going to see people advertise like THCP and it's going to say, oh, it's 30 times as potent as THC. Yeah, no, it's not. There's also something like it's called H4 CBD. Okay. That's new out. And there's a lot of marketing BS around that, claiming it's 100 times as potent as CBD. That is absolutely not true. Because what we're talking about here that marketers are turning into bullshit is binding affinity. So what that means is like, how long does this cannabinoid, because you got to remember, these are 3D structures inside the body, right? So how long does this cannabinoid, when it comes into this receptor, how long does it stay there for? That's how long of effect you get from it, right? So that's how long high you are. That binding affinity can be a couple hours. THCP has a much longer binding affinity, for example. So you may notice effects for up to 18 hours, as an example. But it's not 30 times as strong as THC because the effects are also different. It's a different molecule, right? And because the shape of it is different, the way that it interacts with, your receptors, basically, like the way to think about it, I think, is you have these molecules, they go into the receptors and they tickle it just right, telling it what to do. Hey, maybe release some cognitive stuff, or maybe we're going to do something that decreases your motor ability, or maybe we'll pump out some proteins that break down inflammation. You know what I mean? Hey, Ashlyn. Yes, I'm sorry to say the giveaways are over. We're now just kind of shooting the BS on coffee, pain, and some of the other stuff. So similar to the half-life, yeah, kind of. So half-life is a little different in that that's how long the compound before it splits, right? But yeah, it's a good way to think about it, right? The main thing to know is, especially, all right, so CBD, H4 CBD, right? That's the one 100 times as potent as CBD. And the cool thing is, I tried H4 CBD. In fact, I made some H4 CBD coffee a couple weeks ago on the live. I think it was on live stream. But what you gotta know is, like, cannabis as an industry is garbage. I'm sorry to say it, but it is. There is so prevalent by just bullshit that it's hard to move away from it, right? Like, and it's really frustrating because you want to be beyond, you want to go beyond, right? You want to be able to, like, hey, let's talk about how we're gonna, I won't even get it. It doesn't matter. But anyway, it's just such BS because, again, it's not 100 times more potent than CBD. It doesn't do the same thing CBD does. So how can it be 100 times more potent? That's just marketing to get you to buy it. And that's bullshit. Okay. The truth is that H4 CBD probably has, maybe, it doesn't, but it has some binding affinity that's generally greater than CBD is. And when I took it, what I noticed was like a strong relaxation effect. I didn't notice a lot of pain relief, at least for my pain. Again, pain's a big subject, right? Different ways to treat it. But it was just kind of like chill, and maybe probably like really good for anxiety and like just chill. But it only lasted an hour and a half. And I can tell you that CBD full spectrum gives me way better pain relief than the H4 CBD, which is 100 times more potent than CBD. So, it's garbage. But anyway, so when we're talking about pain and stuff, we have a lot of cannabinoids that we can look at. We can look at how to utilize those cannabinoids, right? So maybe you try something, you get that initial relief, and you're like, oh, but after 2 hours, that drops off. Can we do longer or something like that? And it may be that the only answer is like, no, you just got to take another one. I mean, sometimes that's how it is. But it may also be that, okay, well, let's take a look at what other cannabinoids are available. We can look at things like THCO, like I said. That's a cannabinoid that can become effective after about 50 minutes. And so that can extend the duration. In fact, that's part of the extra strength original Jane mix. There's THCO in there to provide that extra benefit, to provide that extra THC. Which again is another reason why I always push. Go to the variety pack, because there's such a nice distribution in the formulations that if one is noticeably useful, then we can, chase that down. Excuse me. Thank you for taking this time. I've been wanting to learn more now that the research has actually started being. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, so America may have stopped cannabis research, but other parts of the world have not. In particular, Israel. Israel has done a lot of cannabis research in the last 20 to 30 years. And a lot of the research, that we rely on looks from them. And, that's a shame too, because it means we haven't been studying it here in the United States and studying all the different benefits that we could be. But one of the cool things, because it has been studied in some places, we do know a little bit about some of the other more available cannabinoids, let's put it that way, right? So Israel's done a lot of research into Delta-8. So you've probably heard of Delta-8 if you're just into the cannabis culture. Delta-8 is hemp-derived. Effectively, Delta-8 is CBD that is chemically converted to THC, but in this form, it's Delta-8 THC instead of Delta-9. Now, a lot of people in cannabis culture will call Delta-8 diet weed, and like it's a bad thing. Like, hey, this won't get you that high. And that's true. It will not get you as high as Delta-9. But you know what it'll also do that Delta-9 won't do? And this has been studied in children who have cancer, is it'll kill nausea without intoxication. So imagine that. Imagine you can actually have relief from something like nausea and also pain with minimal to no intoxication. That may not be appealing to everybody, because some people just want to get high, but some people want to feel better. And that's where the strategic application of cannabinoids can come into play. And this is where, it's unfortunate that we have spent the last 40 years in prohibition not being able to research beyond basically CBD and THC. There are so many cannabinoids now that are available, and their benefits are tremendous. They can be tremendous anyway. Number 11 and number 6, if you try that one. These are cannabinoids that 5 years ago were barely known about, let alone available, So anyway, so we can work with all those cannabinoids. We can try to find formulations that target effects and find you a different way of finding relief, So many people tell me how they're, getting off opioids, and that's so awesome. That's tremendous to me. And I really just want to be able to continue to be able to do work like that, and also, focus more on the pain aspect of it, because the truth of the matter is my coffee does not do a good job of getting you high. It still puts those cannabinoids into your body more than it puts them into your brain. Yeah, it will get you a little toasted, but it's not the same. And people who just want to get toasted aren't going to be satisfied with that experience. But if you have pain in your body that you smoke and you take edibles and you hope it'll take that away, probably got a coffee that will take that away. And that's the coolest thing. That's what we're all about. But anyway, that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to head off. By the way, if anybody's watching, if you have any problems, fibromyalgia or otherwise, and you want to discuss with it, please, by all means, just shoot me a message. I'm always happy to talk. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can, but always welcome to shoot me a message. I would say that right now, if you're looking for pain relief, you haven't tried the coffee, get our variety pack. It's only $24 for 6 cups of coffee. Chances are at least one of those is going to give you some relief. And if you're feeling really, really, you're really feeling it, get a box of testers, because there's some good ones in there, and you'll probably find some relief too. And then if you do, you'll help us. You'll basically be able to help us target formulations so that the next person who's suffering can get to their relief faster. That I think is really cool. So thanks everyone. I really appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the questions. If you haven't, follow the coffee page, Highest Ground Coffee on Facebook. Join our group, Highest Ground Test Kitchen. That's where we talk about all the formulations and stuff. And if you haven't, join the mailing list on the website and get in on the giveaway list. That's thg.coffee/giveaway. We'll be doing these more regularly. You got to be on that giveaway list to actually win. And then we'll do the announcements live. So thanks, everybody. Thanks again for coming. Any questions, shoot me up a private message. Otherwise, you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. And if you do, or if you're going to place an order and you have any questions, of course, just shoot me a message, and I'll do my absolute best to take care of you. Thank you, everybody.